Salvete omnes. Welcome back. Okay, to start today's lesson off, we're going to be talking about the predicate nominative. I'll give you a little bit of English about that, but before we do, I want to start with some recitation. So I would like you to turn in your textbook to page 28, and we're learning our linking verb sum esse. Okay, so we're just going to recite this together. First, just the Latin, then we'll do the Latin with the English meanings, okay? So follow along with me. Ready? Sum est, sumus estis sunt. Let's just do the Latin again. Sum est, sumus estis sunt. Okay, so now we'll say the Latin with the English. Sum, I am. Est, you are. Est, he, she, it is. Sumus, we are. Estis, y'all are. Sunt, they are. Okay, so this is an irregular verb, both in English and in Latin, and we call it a linking verb. Okay, now, linking verbs do not take direct objects. So the point I want to really emphasize, we've been working with all these cases now. We've learned all our cases and the jobs for all those cases, okay? Now they're going to throw us a little curveball, and they're going to give us a linking verb. And linking verbs do not take direct objects. So linking verbs are going to take three things, okay? Two of which you already can use. One we'll use a little bit later. But linking verbs can take what's known as a predicate nominative, and that is a noun in the nominative case, okay? That's like saying the boy is a sailor, and boy and sailor both will be in the nominative case, okay? So the linking verb can take a predicate nominative. It can take a predicate adjective. We don't know Latin adjectives yet, so we'll get to that in lesson 7. But so that's like saying the boy is smart, okay? Both those things will be in the nominative case, okay? Boy and smart. Okay, or linking verbs can take prepositional phrases. The boy is on the boat. Okay, we don't have the word for boat. Okay, novice is ship. But anyway, so you can see, you can have a predicate nominative, a predicate adjective, or a prepositional phrase. And we've learned prepositional phrases also. Okay, so let's just look at that briefly. Okay, what it's going to look like. Let's just say we want to say, I am a sailor, okay? I would say sum nauta, okay? I am a sailor. See, I is really the subject. Sailor is the predicate nominative, okay? I am a sailor. Now, I put this sum first because this is really important. This linking verb is going to go anywhere in the sentence, okay? It's often right between the subject and the predicate nominative, or the subject, linking verb, prepositional phrase. Okay, you'll find it anywhere. Sometimes it starts the sentence, okay? Whereas a lot of our other verbs are at the end. Okay, so here we have a linking verb, sum, I am. Of course, since I is one, you have a singular subject. What if I want to say they are sailors? I could do sunt, there's they are, but now I have to have plural, right? Because if you have a plural verb, you need a plural predicate, so you will have naute, okay? So that they are sailors. Okay, but now let's do something so that we can have two nouns, okay? Let's see. Instead of using the linking verb as the subject, we can have a different subject. So why don't we say Christians are servants of God? How about that? I'll write it in English first. Christians are servants of God. Okay? So let's just evaluate how we could mark this okay, before we start to translate it. So remember, I'm going to go to that verb first, okay? Are, okay? And I'm going to write linking verb because that's going to help me remember no direct objects, okay? So I've got a subject, the Christians. I've got a predicate, nominative, okay? Different people will abbreviate that differently. We could do predicate, nominative. We have to do a little bit, pronouns are going to be a little bit different, but we could do predicate, nominative. So however you in English want to abbreviate that, go ahead. And, I've got of God, and we know of in Latin is the genitive case. So I'm going to put God in the genitive case. So let me do that. Okay, so I'm going to have Christiani. Okay, put that in the subject plural. Christiani. Oh, are. They, that's a they, right? So I'll do sunt. Okay. Christiani sunt. Servants. Remember, predicate nominative. Better be in the nominative case. Servi. Okay. Christiani sunt servi. And if I put God in the genitive case, Deus Dei. Okay. Dei. There you go. This, look at that, I is the same as these two nominatives, but this is a declension where the genitive is this genitive singular is the same as the nominative plural. So that's kind of why they all end in I. Okay, let me give you one and see what you can do with this one. Here we go. Okay, estis filii Dei. Okay, what you going to do with that? Okay, well, we're going to do what we always do. We're going to start with the verb. Okay, now this verb does not end in T or NT. So our subject is in the verb. Okay, so look, tis. And if you look at your chart, it will help you. Tis, estis means you are. Okay, so if your subject does not end in T or NT, your subject is in the verb. You are. Okay, now we've got to figure out what's our predicate nominative. Is it filii or Dei? And you probably can figure this out right away because we're not going to use gods in this book. Okay, it's a Christian textbook, so we're not going to use gods ever. So this will always be of God. So you are sons of God. Okay? What if we do one with a prepositional phrase so we can look at that? Okay? Because remember, linking verbs can take prepositional phrases also. So, okay, here's one. Galli sunt in opido et silva. Okay, so we have, I go to my verb, now I gotta look, I always read it, Galli sunt in opido et silva. Okay, here's my verb right second. Okay, ends in NT, so I'm gonna go look for another subject. It could be they are, but it also could have another subject. So, let's look at Galli. That is nominative plural. So let me make that my subject, okay? And then I have a prepositional phrase. Now, this is how I mark prepositional phrases. And there is a reason I do this that will become clearer and clearer as we go on. If you start before the preposition and mark it, and then you find the end of the prepositional phrase and mark it, you will never make those things subjects or direct objects or genitives or anything, okay? You're going to make only the prepositional phrase. Actually, sometimes there's genitives in there. So it might be in that town of the Romans. That'll still be part of your prepositional phrases, but you won't make it any subjects, any direct objects. It takes it out of the running for those jobs, okay? So let's translate. The Gauls are in the town and the forest, okay? So that's about the soon verb, okay? And to finish up this lesson, they're introducing a new word, and that word is quod, quod. I mean, both pronunciations are correct, okay? So, so you'll find that on page, let me turn to that page. Okay, page 31 in your textbook, okay? It is a conjunction, another conjunction, only this conjunction, unlike et, is a big conjunction. It's going to combine two different sentences. And because it's going to combine two different sentences, you're going to have a subject verb on this side, and you're going to have a subject verb on that side of the sentence, okay? And this is what I will ask you to do, okay? If you're my student, if you're just watching this, you can mark this however you want. But in order for you not to miss this verb and then jump over to this verb, when you have this conjunction, I like to drop a slash mark that kind of tells you don't pass go. Don't go past this, okay? Mark this up, translate this, then do quod, then do this sentence, okay? So let me give you an example of this, okay? And this is actually the example that the book is going to give you, but I will just show you how I would mark it. I think I'm going to have to go below so you can see it. Okay. All right, let's look at this. Okay, so when I'm going to mark this sentence, right away I see that quod, and I'm dropping a slash. So I'm going to deal with this sentence separately from this one. This is really important. Even if you don't drop that slash mark, that you recognize you have two separate sentences and you deal with them separately. Okay, so here's my verb, sum. Because it doesn't end in T or NT, I know it's a subject verb. Okay, that's my subject verb. Okay, so then I'm looking at these endings, us and e. Ooh, that's my nominative case. So I have a predicate nominative, okay? And I know this, us e, genitive. And then here I have another verb I'm going to deal with. Now this one is a T. So I'm just going to mark that verb, okay, and look for another subject. Well, Christus could be our subject. Deus could be our subject, right? Either one of them, both in the nominative case. Usually in Latin, it defers to the first one. If there's a choice, we make the subject the one that comes sooner in the sentence, and then this would be the predicate nominative. Okay, remember, it's not a direct object because linking verbs don't take direct objects. So let's do this. If our subject verb is together, we're going to start with this. I go to my predicate nominative. I am a servant of Christ because Christ is God. Okay, so we still do subject verb, only this time predicate nominative, since we don't have a direct object. Subject, verb, predicate nominative. Okay, so when you get to go to work on this, okay, so you kind of have two sections right now that you're working on in lesson 2. This finishes up lesson 2. You're going to work on exercise 24, okay? And right above exercise 24 is the sum chart. So pay really good attention to that as you're doing exercise 24. Maybe your teacher's going to have you do exercise 25. And then on page 31, you have quod, okay, which we just went over, some new vocab, and you've got some paragraphs that you're actually going to be able to translate right now. Okay, but you've got to pay really close attention to this vocab. So learn this vocab before you try to translate exercise 26 or 27, because videtis means you see, and you're going to use that a lot. And vicerunt means they conquered. Okay, and you'll have to use that one also. Okay, so get to work, and when you come back, we'll be starting lesson 3. Valete discipuli.